welcome, everyone. All right, we have a lot in store for this week's Am I Crazy podcast. That's right. Every week, we're going to be discussing topics that affect us all, but through a Black lens. And this week, we're going to be talking about the numerous benefits of learning a skill trade. That's right. That's what we're going to be doing. Now, there's many reasons why I decided to talk about this topic, but I'll try to keep it very sweet. Before I get into that, let's get some of the business out of the way, shall we? First is, if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and follow us on Instagram, Facebook. We're on Twitter or X or whatever letter Elon Musk decides to call his company. And we're on LinkedIn, all at Am I Crazy Podcast. That's right. Am I Crazy Podcast. That's crazy with a K. So go ahead and follow us on social media. Oh, and we're on TikTok too. I just started a TikTok. Yeah, that's right. We just started a TikTok. And so you go ahead and follow our antics over there on TikTok. And just FYI, aside from YouTube, you can now go ahead and listen to us while you're on the go on all of your favorite streaming platforms. That's right. We're on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Music, and Amazon Music. That's right. I know. Look at all the hand claps. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And by the way, I do want to let you know that you can go ahead and support this channel in any way you can possible by at least pressing that like, that subscribe, and smash that bell icon for notifications for my upcoming content. But if you feel real generous, go ahead and send us a cash app at $Robert Silver. That's SALVER 247. Okay. So go ahead, if you feel generous, go ahead and do that. Anything you can do to help with this podcast will be reinvested immediately into the podcast to keep this going. I plan to invite other big YouTubers and professionals in diverse fields to do interviews and talk about the topics that affect our community. So now let's get to the main topic of the evening. Here we go. Right here. Okay. We're going to be discussing this week 7 reasons why Black people should learn a trade. All right. There are, but before we get into those 7 reasons, let's build some context. Okay. Let's build some context. First is, some of you might be asking, what in the heck is a trade? Right? We're all taught when we're young, you go to high school, you go to college, you get yourself a job, blah, 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 blah. But times have changed. Our economy has changed. I'm 43, but definitely within 20 years, it's changed dramatically. And companies aren't as loyal to you and vice versa. We're not loyal to companies. We actually leave companies more than ever, and they are willing to let us go more than ever. So that there's no pensions and stuff like that. There's no guarantees on either for either party, whether it be the employer or employee. So we must adapt. And as you know, as people from the Black community, that whatever happens to America happens to us twice as worse. So that's why I want to bring this topic up, because I want us to be exposed to the reality that there are more options than just going to college that will provide you a very good income and a financial foundation for you and your family and your kids, hopefully in the future. So there is, and a matter of fact, most of the stable jobs are in trade skilled um, careers. Um, you don't hear 5,000 plumbers being fired at the same time. But you do hear that at Facebook. You do hear that at other internet or tech companies. It's a normal occurrence. So that's why I want to talk about this to at least give you some possible opportunities to think outside of the box when it comes to giving yourself a career that perhaps you can be proud of, enjoy, as well as have some sense of security. So let's go ahead and get to this first slide I have here. All right, let's talk about it. What is a trade job? Some of you might be asking. Some of you may not even really know. So, according to ZipRecruiter.com, a trade job generally refers to any job whose duties require advanced training and skills gained through means other than a bachelor's degree. For example, many jobs in the construction industry, such as a plumber, electrician, require you to have significant amount of experience and training before you work. Okay. Usually it's like on the site training. And so as it says here, your experience and trainings gained through on the job experience or formal education in the form of apprenticeship, so forth and so on. So although many skilled labor jobs require manual work, not all trade jobs require significant physical work, such as a pilot, a real estate broker, dental technician. Okay. So it's not just because you're so it's not just about you um fixing a highway or something like that. And that's where all the jobs are for skilled trade opportunities. That is not the case. So I just want to make that clear. That's why I wanted to start off to at least help you identify what are trade jobs. Now, let's talk about let's get to this next point. Okay. Let's talk about occupations and where's the other fact I want to bring up here? Okay. Yeah. Let's talk about occupations in the Black community. Okay. Right here. Here, this tab. Boopity boop. Okay. So look, check this out. This is from Black Demograph, blackdemographics.com. Okay. So go complain to them about any statistic you may not like that's being mentioned. So this is according to as well updated March 2023. So as we can see here, African American employment ages 25 to 64. So 66% of men are employed and 70% of women are employed. Now, that sounds like good numbers, but there's actually areas of opportunities. If you know what a SWOT analysis is, there are some opportunities here. One is the fact that the remaining amount of black men and women don't are either not in the labor force or unemployed. Okay, for men, it's only about 1% of us that are in the armed forces, and less than 1% for women. So much so that it says zero. So women are not joining the armed forces as much as black men are. But nonetheless, out of that 66% for men, that remaining amount, the 44%, those folks are who this message is for. And for women, the 30% that's left out of this 70% that are employed, that this message is for. It may even be part of the 70% and the 66% for men as well, because some of them may want to level up. Being employed can be a door person, or let's just say security at a grocery store. What this message is about is finding out that there uh what is it? Investing in learning a trade skill can give you bring in a lot of money. Okay, a lot of good money, reliable, steady money. More so. So just being employed is not enough. But I just want to work off these statistics as they are. All right. So in 2017, about 73% of men aged 25 to 64 were employed. including 66% who were employed. What? Oh, excuse me, were in a labor force, and 66% of them were employed. So let's take a look at the occupations of African Americans. Black women have made the greatest strides recently. In 2017, 35% of employed black women have jobs in management, business, science, arts occupations, up from 33% in 2011, compared to 24% of employed black men. Okay. I'm not too surprised with this stat. As a matter of fact, 65% of working black women held white collar occupations compared to 42% of black men. 36% of employed black men hold blue collar occupations compared to 9% women. So there you have it. When it comes to jobs that are more manual labor, men are going to be more likely the ones that are going to be taking those particular jobs, okay, or choosing to do those kind of jobs. And then women are more than likely going to take jobs that are going to be dealt with in the office or administration or management or something like that. Okay. These are jobs they've chosen. I'm just reading the statistics. So as you can see here, um, all civil employed population, 16 and above, management, business, so forth, 30% African American, 38% for the US in general. Service occupations, 25%. So we outpace a lot of people on average in the service industry, which is not a surprise due to the fact of perhaps of not as high um college after school education, college, like a bachelor's degree or graduate degree or something like that. So therefore, service occupations you will see most of us at all sorts of ages. Sales and office occupations, 24% and 23%. I can see that due to the fact of definitely with sales, doesn't require a lot more um, college education to be really good at sales. Natural resources, construction, maintenance occupations, 5% compared to the 9% for the US. So this is why I talked about that so that you can see the opportunity right there, 4% or more that we can go after, and thus a trade skill. Production, transportation, material moving occupations, 16%. Not surprised. We can see that happen in World War One and Two, where we were the transportation liaisons for the U.S. Army. Men civilian employed population. Okay. So here you can see the difference between the men and women. Management, as we said, the women have it higher. Service occupations, a little bit lower. Women have a little bit higher. Sales, 30%, ba da 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 da. All right. So the point is just to show like our distribution of the occupations in the African American community. Okay. And then you can see here, these are the numbers in detail. These are more numbers in detail. Okay. So the point I want to show all this is because I want to show you basically where are most of our labor force in our community is going. Where is it spread out? And also for us to look for those opportunities. As you saw, like there were some opportunities um in the natural resources, construction, maintenance occupations, right? Thus trade areas. That can be a great area of opportunity for us to go after. One thing I've noticed in the past couple weeks um is that when an African American, if anybody in our community without any barriers or speed bumps and hurdles, if we want something, we'll do it, and we'll often do it better than those who are already doing it. Um, Recently, Antron Brown, I believe his last name is. Let me just make sure. I don't want to misquote this brother here. His last name. Um, where is it? Here we go. Yes, Antron Brown, who's the first African American champion in drag racing history. I watched his race and I was absolutely stunned. I just happened to come across it. And when he jumped out the car and was excited and everything, giving his interview, it was someone that reflected our complexion. And it just blew my mind because never have I thought I'd be seeing an African American, someone from our community, jumping out of a race car, doing drag racing. Not that I'm shocked that to see it nowadays, but I was then, I'm not gonna lie. And that just really got me thinking, like, it's phenomenal to see our potential manifest in such amazing ways. And there was another brother that was doing phenomenal in gymnastics. I didn't get his name, but boy, it was awesome to watch. So yet again, when we left to our own devices without any pitfalls or stumbles or roadblocks and stuff, we outbeat those who are already doing it in that field. So when it comes to these trade jobs, I am more than confident the same rule applies. Now, granted, um, back in the day, we may have had certain huge restrictions. Unions didn't want to have us. They certainly didn't want us to protect us, and they certainly didn't want us working on the uh, the jobs that was getting a lot of money. New York City has a long history of that, of making sure that African Americans don't work on the job sites, or a lot of them. Okay, so I get it, but at the same time, this isn't then. Now is now. And a lot of times the trade jobs will lead us, or can lead us to having our own crew and then our own company. And then now we're in total, now we're the boss. And a lot of times, um, you don't need to go to college to earn a lot of this. So let's get to that's going to segue to the next section. Okay. Let's get to our benefits of learning a skill trade. All right. Here we go. So, before we do, make sure to go ahead and smash that like, that share, and subscribe to this channel. Any support you can give will be greatly appreciated. And when you hit that bell notification icon, that will give you notifications of upcoming content, whether it be the shorts or more uploaded video content and the live streams. So make sure you go ahead and do just that. And yes, you can go ahead and support the show since we're not monetized yet on Cash App at Robert Silver 247, or you could send a payment or a donation through PayPal at paypal.me slash at Rob Silver Photog. All the links to these are in the description section down below. So go ahead and check that out. All right, let's get back to it. First things first. All right, here we go. First, it's more shorter and affordable path. That's right. That's what I said. It is shorter and affordable path. You can get from 0 to 100 much faster than a 4-year degree, or depending on your major. If you want to get into the medical field, you might need another 4 or 5 more years on top of your undergrad. So you're waiting, could be 6, 7, 8 years before you really get to where you're heading to, and your earning potential. So that means by the time you're 30, if you're a young person right out of college, by the time you're almost 30, 28, something like that. Or if you're my age at 43, not until you're 50, if you want to all of a sudden become a doctor or something like that, or something in the medical field. An attorney, depending on an attorney, I'm sure, but nonetheless, if you wanna go to undergrad and then grad, that's 6 years right there. A lot of times, just since you're doing an apprenticeship, that may require maybe up to 2 years, depending on what you're doing, a year or so, and in the meantime, they're paying you. You're just not gonna get your journeyman, pay scale yet. but you're working toward that, and at the same time, you're getting that hands-on experience we'll talk about a little bit later, okay? So that's a huge, huge benefit right there, and, w hold on, give me 1 second, I'm sorry. And it's more affordable, right? Working on a skill trade is much more affordable. The average cost, oh, here we go. The average cost of college degree can be like $127,000, okay? While a skilled trade can be on average $33,000. So not only do you get to start working and earning money faster, but you're not going to be overburdened with debt as soon as you're done training. So it's a double whammy right there. I'm going to be honest here. You know, full disclosure, I have a bachelor's degree and then I studied for another year into my master's, but I was in a bad situation. I was in a negative space in life and I didn't finish my master's. But the point is, I owe for my bachelor's and my master's, and it's not a pretty penny. Okay, it's pretty ugly, and it's not $33,000 because I would have already paid that off. So, with that said, if I had known in hindsight the importance of not carrying debt, the importance of credit, um, the real cost of education, like, can I is my degree transferable? Is my degree, in high demand in the marketplace? A lot of trades are more in demand than ever right now, okay? So, to leave and only have $33,000, you could have worked through your, while you're training and paid that $33,000 off by the time you're done. So that is a huge difference. This is literally 25% of the average total cost for a 4-year degree. Do the math. Okay, while you need it says right here, while you need some training to work in the trades, many companies hire people with no or little experience as apprentices because through the apprenticeship is where they train you. And not only they training you, you're working for them. So it's a win-win for them. And more than likely, since you train through them, you're gonna be there for them after your training. So it's a win-win, win-win, win-win. You may also be able to pick up any training you need in specific individual courses, which cost way less than a full degree. Because as we know, for those who got their undergrad, you spend about a year and a half, 2 years with every other course, excuse me, class, and everything that has nothing to do with the reason why you want to go to college. You're learning rocks and science and some math you probably didn't want to use or care about at the particular time at that level. Um, you're doing all sorts of English and poetry and all this other stuff just to fulfill some education, scholastic quota, and it had nothing to do with the major that got you pumped up to want to go to college. So that is number one. Let's get to number two. Number two is faster graduation timeline. So now you have something, you're passionate about it, okay? The turnaround for that is going to be much, much quicker, much quicker. Therefore, your ability to get to that next level is going to be a lot faster than most people. Um, even after I'm not sure how doctors go, but I know that after you do your undergrad, then you go to medical school, and then you have to like work for 2 years as a what do they call them? I forgot the name. But they work in the hospital, but they're like a doctor, but like they're training still. So they're not completely on their own yet. Um, oh goodness. I totally forgot what it's called. But nonetheless, you went through all that education, 6 years of education, you're still not officially official. But with a trade, 12 months, you could be in and out. 18 months, in and out. And many times you can work as you're working to get out. So it almost behooves us for us to explore that option. We're not wasting time. And once you're done, you're not burdened with debt. As African Americans, that's one thing we should be really exploring is options that doesn't leave us burdened with debt, but we're more skilled, more educated. Education just doesn't mean I went to some Harvard or Yale. I mean, God bless those who did. I went to college and all that, but if I had known better about these other options, I may have went another route. Okay, because no one's sitting down and educating and showing us the pros and cons of all these options. We're drilled into us that college is the option and the only option. And that is just not the case. During COVID, the one person who was gainfully employed and getting all the money was my plumber. He came to our house at least 3 times during the COVID lockdown, and he was getting 150 an hour. So clearly, he was doing all right. His job was recession proof, if you will. Everybody needs their when the plumber goes down, no one cares what kind of disaster is happening. You need him to come, and he's going to be glad to and charge you accordingly. So, anyway, I'm sorry. Let me get back to this. I digress. So, when we're talking about faster graduation times, again, 12 months, 18 months, we're in, we're out, we're ready to go. Now, here we go. Number three, third benefit of learning a trade. Skilled workers are in high demand. Absolutely. Skilled workers are in high demand. Okay. Um, Look at this here. I'm gonna pull this up. Let's check this out. Oh, let me switch that. All right, here we go. All right. This comes from creditkarma.com. If you're looking for a career that pays well and doesn't require a 4-year degree, but still requires a specialized skill, you might be in the market for a trade job. Hey, check this out. Trade job titles. This is the 24 of the highest paying trade jobs. Licensed practical nurse, 48 grand. Power plant operator, 94,000. Okay. Iron worker, 57. Elevator mechanic. Damn, they make good money. 97,000 plus. Electrical lineman, 75 grand. Respiratory therapist, 61 grand. Radiation therapist, 82 grand. So as you can see, you're going to be earning good money. Depending, and of course, these are all like these are median salaries, so it's sliding scale depending on where you live in the country in America. Okay, but this is according to the USA Bureau of Labor Statistics, 2021. So I'm sure it's a little bit higher now. Okay, so these are all skill paid jobs ranging from as low as 46,000 up to 97,000 a year. So a lot of good range depending on what you want for yourself. You know, if you have a family, if you're, you can be a pipe fitter, real estate agent, but that's a grind right there. I wouldn't recommend that too much. But for sure, all these other ones, look at it. Power plant operator, 95 grand. Man, that's what I'm talking about. And we're in the Bay Area. We have a power plant right there in Richmond. HVAC technician, 48 grand. I bet you it's much more here in the Bay Area. I can almost guarantee you that. I almost guarantee you that. Uh, Electronics engineering technician, 63 grand. And these are skilled jobs. These are jobs that it's not going to boot you out. Okay. Look at this. Let's talk power plant. Look at this. When we're talking about education, $95,000 for power plant operator. That's a median income in the U.S. So I'm sure it's higher here. I'm quite sure. Education or training requirements, high school diploma or equivalent long-term on the job training. Look at that. 100 grand job, 100, six-figure job right there. High school diploma or equivalent. So brothers and sisters, when we're talking about trying to get to a point where we're earning that six figures, earning a good reliable income, right there. That's one area in which we can attack and get that money without having to go to school, incurring 50, 60, 70, $100,000 worth of debt to earn that much. Because that's really the purpose of us going to college, is to earn a skill or knowledge in a particular field that we are passionate about, that we want to, so that we could earn the money we deserve. Well, it's telling you can do that right here with as little as a high school diploma or equivalent long term on the job training. Here we go. Like elevator mechanic. Okay. 97 grand. Same thing. Apprenticeship or high school diploma. I mean, man, it's crazy. Look at it. Most of these are saying that associate's degree at most. Here we go. Respiratory therapist. 61 grand. I'm sure you can get at least 80 grand here in the Bay Area. Associate degree, respiratory therapy, state license in most cases. Radiation therapist. I guarantee that's more than 82 grand. Okay. And it says associate's degree in radiation therapy plus state national license. And I'm just saying these are opportunities for us. Okay. Hey, I'm just worried about I'm worried about the bottom dollar. I'm not worrying about pick your poison. If you don't want to be radiation therapist or you want to be in the medical field, work the radiation therapist. If you like working with your hands, do the elevator mechanic. Solid, very good jobs. You can stack your money, put it into something that you really want to do 20 years down the line, but you're going to be comfortable. Your family's going to be comfortable. This is the way these jobs are going to be much more reliable and dependable than most tech jobs. I'll tell you that right now, unless you own the company. So, and these jobs are in high demand. Not everybody can do it. You can't easily get someone who does elevator technician. You can't just easily replace that person. You can easily replace people who just code, because everybody's coding. A coder is so replaceable. That's why when people in tech get fired, they get fired at hundreds and thousands of jobs at a time because they're replaceable. Anybody could be working in the office or being an administrative assistant. Matter of fact, they're going to replace all that soon enough. Chat GPT is going to write all the newsletters, and hell, and it's got I've got that other program is going to make up all the photos and graphic design work. They're going to replace all that, but someone needs to fix that elevator for that CEO to get up to floor whatever. Okay. Um, Number 4, an opportunity to do work you enjoy. Now, granted, not everybody may think this way, but I kind of do. Okay. And when the lockdown was happening, I worked so much more with my hands. And what I mean by that is I did a lot of yard work, home improvement, so forth and so on. And there was something satisfying about taking a look, taking a step back and looking at the work that I completed and it improved, the home, whether it be cutting the grass or repainting this, etc. But there was something really satisfying about taking a step back and seeing a job well done. And I actually enjoyed it. I really enjoyed doing something with my hands. Um, Now, granted, not all of these are those kind of jobs, right? Like we were saying, uh, here we go. We got HVAC, that might be a little bit more with your hands, electrician, construction inspector. But then you have like dental hygienist and so forth and so on. But if you want to be in the dentist industry or and what is it, optometrist? Anyway, ophthalmology, then this is one way for you to get in. A dental hygienist earn 80 grand. It's 78 grand on average. And you're working in the field that you are passionate about. Now, if you want to work in the hospital or something like that, you got the radiation technician, you got the respiratory therapist, etc. And now you're in like sin without the heavy burden of deep debt of from a college degree. So these are areas that we can again be just as fulfilled. Why miss out on these opportunities? Why are we only assuming that one way is the only way for us to gain financial freedom, create wealth for us, not just be rich, but be wealthy, meaning it's established along it's something that's more reliable and dependable, and that we could pass on to our kids, not only the lessons that we learned, but hopefully a few dollars. Now, because remember, the longer we do it, the better we're at it, the less likely they can replace us. The less likely, the more valuable we become to said employer or client if you're working freelance. All right, number 5, you can move up the ladder. Now, I like this one a heck of a lot. And that's um because honestly, you're gonna have a lot less people in your way when it comes to moving up the ladder when you work in trade. And unlike when you're in a tech field or something like that, there's gonna be a lot more people doing what you're doing, vying for that next position, for that leadership role. Another way to move up, because obviously when you go from apprenticeship to journeyman, etc., then you move up, and then a lot of times you're working with a union, so that's awesome. And then they give you're allotted more pay and a higher pay scale. Now, another way to move up is that a lot of times I've seen skilled laborers end up going freelance and starting their own company, their own construction company, their own consulting company, or something like that, because their skills that they've acquired over 15, 10, 15, 20 years are they're transferable to being independent. They've already learned all the skills it took to be on the bottom of the ladder, then also what it took to perhaps manage a bit, right? Manage they were what is it, a foreman or something like that. And then eventually they've acquired all the skills they need that they're able to easily make more of the jump from being an employee to working for themselves as a consultant. Um, and again, with the union, since you do have your ability to move up depending on your seniority and so forth and so on. So that's really major. Because what one thing I've noticed when I worked a lot of jobs is um what's the mobility like? How long I hate feeling like I'm stagnant and I don't have a goal to work for. Or and a lot of times the goal for me was the ability to move to that next level in said company. That pumped me up. That got me excited. That gave me a little sense of worth because if I work hard, I have this goal I can achieve and thus reflecting my ability of producing value for that company. So much so that they reward me with that next bump up, that moving up the ladder. And when you're in some jobs, a lot of times you're kind of you hit a plateau very quickly, or um that they may have a lot of people here, but up here it's already filled, and then those people with seniority are kind of stuck in that position, and then you'll always be down here, or you'll be capped eventually. So being able to move up in the ladder a lot of times is a reason why people leave a company because the next company is willing to give them that next step for them and the pay to go with it. So that to me is a very important reason. Um, my most not my reason for this to be a good benefit is that this can lead you to eventually having your own. That's the best ladder. That's the largest rung on my ladder that I would like to achieve is to learn as much as I can, work around other professionals that have more experience than me, and eventually branch off and have my own practice, my own whatever, consulting and so forth. All right, let's get to the next one. The next one is real world experience for in demand careers. Okay. That ultimately is probably going to be the best form of education that you're going to have. On the job experience. You can't beat it. I've gotten jobs because of my experience, not because of my formal education that has allowed me to get said job. And quite honestly, um, if it wasn't for this case, there would be a lot of students who come right out of college and might not be able to get that job because, um, well, the education helps them. Actually, let me scratch that. Let me scratch that. Hold on. Give me 1 second. I'm so sorry. So so here's the thing with the online with the real world experience, even as an apprentice, you immediately start work, right? You immediately are beginning to learn the basics of being a carpenter or a plumber or whatnot, even if it's as simple as assisting the um journeyman level um plumber or whatnot. And feel free to comment down below. I don't know all the levels and whatnot. I'm just, freeballing it here. But the point is that soon as you soon as you get in, you get your foot in, you're immediately learning and doing at the same time. And education's great, but if you can't apply it, it means nothing. And that's why a lot of times when we looked at these jobs, when we're looking at these jobs, okay, they literally was saying, um, okay, education, high school diploma, or equivalent long term on the job training. So if I had 5 years on a job training, that's looking pretty good, just as valuable as the education in some of these cases. And on the job training means that 5 years of on the job training, I'm getting paid. So a win-win. And the employer has somebody reliable that's been working for them. So let's not downgrade the value, the financial value of on the job training. And again, that training, that experience is directly transferable to the next company you want to work for the same using the same skill set. So that's really, 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 I think, quite honestly, a lot of people underestimate, really do. All right, number 7. Oh my God, can you believe it? Here we are. Number 7 is compensation. That's right. Trade jobs are well paid. And back to my example here. Let me get back to this example. There we go. Compensation, yep, trade jobs are paid well. Here we go. I mean, I'm not lying to you. It's right here in black and white. Um, let's go mechanic, right? 98,000 as I said, electrical lineman 75. Again, this isn't I'm in California, but I'm sure it's higher on average. Aircraft technician, nuclear nuclear medicine technician. I don't even know about that. Nuclear medicine technicians or technologists prepare radioactive drugs to use for treatment. Oh, probably like for cancer and stuff like that. 78,000. You're probably going to get more than that in the Bay Area, that's for sure. But associate's degree from an accredited nuclear medicine technology program. Look at that, a 2-year degree. Boom. Now you're ready. So if you're 18, 19, you study for 2 years, so by 2021, boom, you're at $80,000. You're gonna be hitting, get yourself a little side hustle. Now you're at 6 figures, no problem. A millwright installs and dismantles, maintains, and repairs factory machinery and mechanical equipment and components. Well, okay, that's a mouthful. They work in factories, warehouses, power plants. 60 grand. Okay. Diagnostic medical sonographer. 75 grand. Associate's degree or post-secondary certificate. Man, I'm telling you. See, this is the stuff I wish they taught us in high school. Okay. I wish they taught us this in high school. A lot of good jobs here. And these are just it's a these are what is it? 20 what did it say? 24. Okay. Solar and energy system installer. Okay. $47,000. High school diploma. Blah or equivalent on a job training. Cable technician, 60 grand. Computer support specialist, 57. Responsible for enhancing hardware and software systems. Okay. I'm sure this could be higher too. Again, if you're in the Bay Area, all these numbers don't matter. It's higher. That's a fact. But this is again the median salary in the US. In the US. So 90 grand in Montana is going to be fantastic. If you're in the South, fantastic. Basically, if you're not in the big major metropolitan cities, these careers, these dollar signs are looking quite nice. Okay. So that's just my opinion. So and we've all heard the stories and testimonials of people and people that know people who are in trade getting more pay and having more money to spend than those with undergrad, postgraduate degrees. Barn, I've seen it all the time, and I'm one of them because I do have student debt. All my other debt is next to nothing except my car loan, and then if it was for the student part, I'd be man, it'd be amazing. So not only do they carry that less debt and they're paid, if not comparable, if not more than those with college degrees a lot of times, because a lot of people with college degrees may get that college degree, get it framed up, it's hanging on a wall, they feel like a winner, but most of the time end up with a job that has nothing to do with that degree. But the debt is there. They get a job that is paid the same, sometimes less than the average person who is a skilled laborer. But that skilled laborer is not only getting the same, but better pay. They have less debt. Most of the time, no debt. My brother Greg is one of them. He's a skilled. He's a 18-wheeler truck driver. Makes very good money. Didn't go to college. He's living comfortably. He's living very comfortably. Shout out to the blue collar folks. Okay. So that's why I want to talk about this is that there are options for us. Let's talk about different kinds of options that are just as respectable, that pay you just as well, that are going to be more dependable. They're going to be very transferable, cheaper to get into. You're going to be able to start making money faster and you won't be burdened in debt. Because it's not just about how much money you make, it's how much money you keep. And then, thus, with that said, more money for you to be able to invest on things that make you money, whatever that is. It's not a car, but let's say home ownership, land, something like that, investments, educating yourself on what kind of investments you should be getting into with that extra money that you now have in your pocket because you're not burdened with debt and it didn't take you forever for you to start working. And that you were, since you were earning money while you were learning, thus on the job training. So anyway, whew, it was a lot. Ironically, this is ending exactly the amount of time I wanted it. Okay. So um now with that said, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, go ahead and post it down below. Yes, of course. You go ahead and support this channel by smashing that like, that share, and subscribe. That's right, subscribe. Come on. And hit that bell icon to get notifications of my upcoming video. Definitely would be greatly appreciated. You can go ahead and support the show on Cash App at $ Robert Silver 247. That's right, 247. Come on, support this channel. Now, next Wednesday, 7 p.m., make sure you tune in for another live stream. And as time goes on, I will pick up more days. If you have any comments or topics you think I need to discuss, feel free to send me an email at micrazy247@gmail.com. That's crazy with a K. Okay. Go ahead and follow us on all the socials, y'all. Come on now, follow us on the socials on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Threads. Oh, wait, we're not on Threads. Excuse me. Scratch that. We are on Twitter. We're on LinkedIn and TikTok at MI Crazy Podcast. That's crazy with a K, like I said. And if you're on the go, hey, I got you. Don't worry. You could go ahead and follow us at MI Crazy Podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms: Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Music, Amazon Music. That's right. Come on and go ahead and follow us there. All right. I go ahead and upload the audio for this to Spotify immediately. So definitely within the next 2 hours, it'll be already available for you to listen on your mobile devices while you're shopping and doing whatever you're doing. Okay. So with all that said, I will see you all next Wednesday, 7 p.m. See you then. Dive into the thought-provoking world of the Am I Crazy podcast as we fearlessly explore and react to the hard truth about today's problems facing the Black community. In a society where important discussions often go untold, I'm here to shed light and react to the issues, challenges, and experiences the Black community faces head on. I'm your host, Robert Silver, and in each episode, I will be tackling a wide range of topics that matter most to our community, including relationships, social justice, racial equality, education, healthcare, economic empowerment, cultural heritage, and so much more. Subscribe now to stay informed, inspired, and empowered. Together, we can explore solutions to a better future for our community. Remember, change starts with a conversation. Join me now and let's get it started.